Hey guys, it's Emma, and I'm back today for you with another video. So this is going to be, I think, the third annual wrap-up for 2021. This is the worst books that I read during 2021, all right? As you can see from my last two videos, I don't have on makeup. The sunglasses are making an appearance. They may get on my face, they may not. Before we start, I want to make a disclaimer. These opinions are my own. I do not mean any hate whatsoever towards the authors or fans of these books that I will be talking about. Okay, book reviews and opinions are subjective. And I hope that maybe we can have some healthy discourse down below. Okay, if you don't agree with me, let me know. If you agree with me, let me know. Let's just respect everybody's opinions down below, okay? Because like I said, opinions are subjective. I have my list right here. And I have about 8 that I want to talk with y'all about today. And yeah, let's just jump right into it, because I think we all just want to bathe in the negativity, don't we? Yeah. First one that we have is I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Reid. I gave this book 1 star. I thought it was so boring. Okay, the dialogue was supposed to be from these 2 people that just got out of college. Last time I checked, no college kids, let alone out of college kids, talked like this. Socrates, he wants his material back. All right. The girlfriend was kind of iffy. It was very strange to read from her perspective. She did stuff that was just like, really, girl? Like, I know you've seen a horror movie before. I know you know how you're not supposed to act in a horror movie, yet you choose to go into the abandoned school at night to look for your dumbass boyfriend. Like, it was just very underwhelming considering what I'd heard from everybody else who'd read this book. And then I watched the movie. The movie was just as, honestly, if not more, confusing and boring. The ending in the book made more sense than the ending in the movie did, in my opinion. So I did not like this. I didn't think it was that scary, quite honestly. There were like 1 or 2 scenes that were scary, but were then completely watered down to the molecule by the idiotic decisions that the main character made. Second, we have American Royals by Katharine McGee. I gave this 2 stars. Wow, did this book just practically drown me in utter absurdity, miscommunication, misunderstanding, sister hate, also a little dash of sister hate, just, in that little misery cocktail. It was awful. We were following 4 main characters. Beatrice was the only one I liked. The only reason I liked her was for her bodyguard romance with her bodyguard, Connor, the dude with the full-bodied tattoo. Even then, that romance was thrown out the window. Sam's character arc plateaued. Daphne started out as a bad bitch and then sacrificed her bad bitch energy to become a homewrecker. And then Nina had a backbone by the beginning of the story, but she lost it by the end of it, and I just want to know where it went, because she and Jefferson did not have sex, so I know he didn't break it. Nina, where did it go? The media wants to know. It felt like a bad reality TV show, quite honestly, that wasn't even bad enough to, like, keep reading to be good. You know what I mean? Okay, SkyClan's Destiny by Erin Hunter. I wanted to love this book. I really did, because I am a Warrior Cats fan. I've loved that series ever since I was a middle schooler, I admit. But this book was so hard to get through. I think I thought about DNFing this book at least thrice, because the characters in here were horrible to each other. All right? Leaf Star was a doormat. One of the only female leaders that we got a point of view from, and she was a doormat. Nobody respected her. Everybody talked back to her. Every single one of her clanmates had attitude that I just wanted to know where the hell they came from. Sharpclaw, her deputy, just thought he could do anything he wanted, and then at the very end, simplify it by, I was just trying to make sure you were a good leader. Okay. It was horrible. I got angry reading this, physically angry. Y'all would not be acting a fool if Firestar was there, I know that. I gave SkyClan's Destiny 2 stars. Honestly, I don't even know why I was that generous. Honestly, I should have given her 1, but too little too late. Either way, probably the worst Warrior Cats book I've ever read, which is saying a lot, because how many Warrior Cats books have I even read? Like at least 25, alright? And that's not even counting the super editions, alright? So, damn. That was just a shipwreck and a half. Oh, dear Lord. Oh. Okay. Barbarian Alien by Ruby Dixon. I gave this 1 star. This is the sequel to Ice Planet Barbarians, the very first book. This book disgusted me. With every fiber of my being, I loathe this book. This book took the mate bond, all right, a very polarizing romance trope that can only be done very well, very delicately, all right, and just squashed it. I'm talking WWE, John Cena, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, they gonna rumble, they gonna take your face off type smackdown. All right, this was horrible. It made me sick. It was unconsensual. All right, there was so many mixed signals, and it brought upon the idea of, don't worry, your body wants me, your mind will catch up to it later. And then, you know, the tribe and everybody that we thought was great is written in a bad light for breaking up the rapist and his victim. Shut the hell up. All right, move on. Next caller. All right. While we're on the subject of disgusting books, all right, we have The Siren by Tiffany Reisz. I don't know how to pronounce that, and I do apologize. Now, I don't want to speak about the BDSM representation because I am not in the BDSM community, therefore I do not know what the hell I'm talking about in that regard. However, what I do know about the world of BDSM is that consent is key. However, this book had a very big problem, in my opinion, with statutory. Nora was in this relationship with this man named Soren, and Soren is about, I want to say, I don't know, 15, 16, a very big age gap, her senior, right? And, you know, she's like in a love-hate relationship with him. She's in an on and off thing with him. She hates him, but she doesn't. And he was her dom for a big portion of her life because they were together for, I want to say, like 10 years. So you're probably like, okay, well, Emma, what's the big deal? It's two consenting adults. The thing is, the thing about that is that when Soren met Nora, he met her when she was 15 years old and he was 30. And he said, in context, in writing, in the book, I fell in love with you when you were 15. First red flag. Second red flag is, and I kept you a virgin until you were ready. Where's my cross necklace? Damn. That conversation, that whole thing of like, oh hey, maybe that's weird, never had. Then it gets even worse. All right, because then Nora continues the cycle. And whether or not you want to attribute this to, you know, her being a victim, which, you know, I attribute some of it to, so that is an explanation, but that is not an excuse for her having sex with a newly turned 17-year-old boy. And you may be thinking, Emma, 17 is a legal age of consent in some states. Okay, is 15? Because that's the age that the 17-year-old actually turns out to be. Yeah, he lied about his age. And she does have sex with the 15-year-old. She doesn't know, all right? She finds out later. And she is mad that Soren did not tell her that the kid was 15, but only for 5 pages. And then for the rest of the argument, she's mad that he lied to her about it, which again is a reason to be mad about, but I think there's a bigger reason to be mad here, all right? Because you did commit statch. I gave it 1 star. I'm not donating that book. I'm keeping it in the bowels of my basement. We have The Howling 2 by Brandner. This is the sequel to The Howling. The Howling, if you've seen the movie, it's basically the movie, just, with, like, some changes here and there. The first book was okay. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was okay. The second book was phenomenally worse. I read the second one for the Trick-or-Treat-a-thon. It is, like, 236 pages long, and by page 97, we had a very climactic point happening where everything was already happening, so it's like, okay, what are you gonna do for the rest of this book? What are you gonna make happen for the rest of this book? Are you gonna be able to, like, have everything planned out to where, like, meaningful and important and impactful stuff happens? Or are you just gonna drag it out because you had too much stuff happen in the beginning and now you don't know what to do with yourself now? Unfortunately, it became the latter. All right, it was just so drawn out. Nothing happened. They were in Mexico for, like, the latter half of the book, and the Spanish, as someone who's studied Spanish now for 7 years, it was horrendous to have to read through this dude's Spanish. Also, there is a part in this book that includes fetishization of lesbianism, which, I'm sorry, are we surprised? It's a man writing 2 women. And then the ending of the book was so anticlimactic because we had our 2 villains. The first villain died in a pretty okay way, all right? Pretty meaningful way. He died at the hands of his best friend. But then the main villain, Marcia, she's mad at Karen because Karen shot her in the head with a silver bullet and therefore took away her ability to transform into a werewolf. So now Marcia's pissed, she wants revenge, and I'm like, yes, that's a good motive. And so Marcia's been hunting down Karen all the way through this book, making her life literally hell, and she finally has her hands on Karen. She's tied her up, she's gonna basically burn her with a red hot poker, and she dies in 5 minutes. Gary, Mr. Brandner, you spent more time building up the 5-second fade to black, mind you, fetishized lesbian sex scene that had no importance to the plot whatsoever, than you did your main villain's death. Anyway, I give it 1 star. Read at your own risk, I guess. Next, we have Horns by Joe Hill. I gave this one 1 star. I hated it, which is such a disappointment because I loved the movie with Daniel Radcliffe. I'm not going to lie. I've been put off by Stephen King ever since I read Needful Things and ever since my sister read It and told me all of the stuff that happened in there. I've just been turned off by him. I'm sorry. And I did not know that Joe Hill was Stephen King's son, and when I found that out, I was 90% of the way through the book, and by that point, I had basically been debating whether or not to DNF this book at least 5 times. So at that point, out of everything that had happened, I was finishing that book out of spite. When the world fails you, spite will not. So this book has a thing with, like, the non-chronological narrative, which in my opinion is not helpful, at least to the reader, or at least for me. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's strange. I think it's choppy, and it definitely did not help with how things planned out in this book, because at 40% we find out who killed the girlfriend, and then for the rest of the book it was like, okay, so what are we gonna do? You know, like what are we gonna do for the 60% of the book that we have left? And that 60% of the book was flashbacks. It was just so much of nothing. This book was just so much of nothing, and the ending was so ridiculous. All right, I don't even really remember how the ending actually goes. I think Ig just, like, walks into a burning treehouse and dies. I want to say that the reason I gave this 1 star was because of just how dramatically downturned my emotions became while in the process of reading this book. So yeah, take from that what you will. I did not like Horns. I'll stick to the movie. Lastly, we have The Sweetest Obsession by Danielle Laurie. This is a mafia romance. Very steamy. Okay, I'll give it to it. The sex scenes were really nice. I gave it 2 stars though. Okay. While I did like the fact that he did burn down a gas station for her. Okay, I'm not above my romance, girlies, all right? But When he pushes you into a pool in front of everybody because he's jealous that you're talking to a dude that he doesn't even know, that's kind of where I draw the line. And there was so much miscommunication that happened. I despise miscommunication, if I can be completely honest. I hate it. And miscommunication in romance books is the bane of my existence. I think it is ridiculous, and especially the lengths to which some of the miscommunication in this book went to. So yeah, didn't like it. Probably will not continue with the series. I just wanted to get it out of the way because there was so much hype around it, and quite frankly, I don't understand it. But that's okay. So you guys, those were the worst books that I've read during 2021. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you guys will tell me down below what y'all's worst books of the year were, because to be honest, I thrive on negativity, babs. We all do at some point. It's no use in denying it. But with that being said, I hope you guys are staying safe, that you guys will tune into the next video, and that you guys have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.